Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Undead Talking. Sorry for all the technical issues. I messed up and I didn't set up my encoder properly, and that's why I'm 20 minutes late. But I appreciate those of you who took the time to wait and join in the chat and everything here. It's great to have you all here, even though I kind of dropped the ball on this one. Still, I'm glad that anyone and everyone could make it. As you guys know, this is the first episode of Undead Talking. It's something we've kind of wanted to do for a while. A lot of the writers over at Undead Walking wanted to get together and have a place to discuss everything having to do with The Walking Dead, whether it is, the AMC show, Fear the Walking Dead, the comic books, the games, whatever. So I figured that we should start off with a first episode. Just to let you guys know, I'm Adam Carlson. I was the first writer ever on Undead Walking. I pitched the idea to Fansided, who took the idea and ran with it. And since then, we've become one of the premier fan-run The Walking Dead websites out there. I handle a lot of the reviews as well as the comic book and video game stuff. So it's really cool to have me here to be able to talk to you guys because I love interacting with the fans and getting to know everyone. We got Kyle West joining us in the chat because this is a live chat room. We've got so many different ideas and opinions that can be shared here, as well as questions that I'd be willing to answer and discuss for anyone interested. We run a similar format, Mr. West and I do, over on Purple People Podcast, which talks about Minnesota Vikings football, but you guys don't care so much about that. But this is something we hope to do very often, maybe at least weekly. I know I'll hop on at least weekly. We may have some other people from the site hop on and do a show every once in a while to talk about a review of an episode or preview an episode or if there's some major news happening. But for now, it's sticking to a weekly thing, and it may grow if we see some success from this in the future. So let's start things out here. We got The Walking Dead Our World. That was the big announcement this week. Came really out of nowhere. It's an augmented reality mobile game, sort of like Pokemon Go, but according to the commercial, it didn't really look so much like it's going to be a paper football kind of dynamic. It showed characters from the AMC show, which is great because it's by Next Games, and Next Games has that license already from Walking Dead No Man's Land to be able to use these characters. So fans that are picking up this game or trying to pre-order it, or, well, it's free, so you could just register from it and download. But it's an exciting idea, and something that I personally am really looking forward to because I still play Pokemon Go every once in a while. I'm that nerdy guy. That happens. But I'm really looking forward to this game because I don't know anything about it. The game reveal trailer didn't show a lot of gameplay. Instead, focused on the idea of the dead taking over the unnormal everyday land situations, whether it be, a grocery store or a gas station or just even in the streets. But they did show some weapons, and it looks like it's going to be more of a fighting than that paper football dynamic of Pokemon Go, which makes it even more interesting to me. They didn't offer a release date for The Walking Dead Our World, which was kind of sad because I am looking forward to that now, and there are some other Walking Dead games coming out soon. So I don't want it to get really congested. People who follow me over on Twitter at MNVikingZombie, they know that I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead Road to Survival. I've played that a lot. I'm kind of burnt out on it now. So I'm hoping for something to come along and take over that addiction for me, or at least help me refresh my my passion for the other Walking Dead mobile games. So hopefully The Walking Dead Our World can do that. We're going to have more information on that available as it comes out. We had some more big news this week with The Walking Dead Season 8 preview special being announced. The Walking Dead Season 8, something that we're all looking forward to. Season 7 left a bad taste in some fans' mouths because of the pacing and watching our favorite survivors just struggling to survive. Well, I personally enjoyed the season. I felt there were some episodes that weren't as good as others, but that's going to happen with The Walking Dead. Now we've got the Season 8 preview special, which is going to air on September 10th, right before the return of Fear the Walking Dead on AMC. So you're going to get The Walking Dead Season 8 preview special, which is going to last an hour. And I'm sure they're going to touch on a lot of the 100 moments. Since this is going to be the 100th episode, It's hosted by Chris Hardwick, Scott M. Gimple, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Lenny James are all going to be on hand. I almost called him Lenny Morgan, but he does play Morgan. Hopefully he don't mind that. But that's going to be a lot of Walking Dead that night, because you are going to get the preview, then you get the back-to-back episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, and then you get a Talking Dead afterwards. So it's going to be a lot of Walking Dead on the 10th, and I know fans are really excited to get a lot of that going on. The Fear the Walking Dead also released a new promo. This promo showed that leadership at the ranch is kind of up for grabs, and it looks like Madison might be the one to hop in and take control. Judging by the way the last half of the season ended, this is probably an astute observation, because if she can take over leadership, it can kind of assure the safety of her kids. She can keep Troy under control, and meanwhile, Jake has his thing going on with Alicia, so he may not be as eager to take things on as far as a control issue as well. For me, Fear the Walking Dead just really took off running in season 3. That first half of the season was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the return of this show. I don't like when they do the back-to-back premieres, because to me that is a lot of Walking Dead, and I would have preferred it spaced out a little bit more so that we could have more Walking Dead, more weeks, rather than jam-packing so much in one night. Even the season 8 special, maybe if it would have been the week before or something like that, it would have been great. But I understand them wanting to take the huge passion that fans show for The Walking Dead season 8 and hopefully have some of those viewers keep tuned in for the return of Fear the Walking Dead and keep building that base, because Fear the Walking Dead's ratings are steadily looking really good. It's becoming a really strong show despite kind of a weak start, but they are retaining a lot of their audience, which is fantastic to see. The promo as well is up on Undead Walking. It's on the YouTube channel for AMC. There's plenty of places to check that out if you're interested. We got Catalina Clausen here in the chat thinking that Madison is comparable to Rick. And so far, I think that I've had trouble relating to Madison because I haven't liked a lot of the decisions she's had to make or how she's treated her family in the meantime. But I think we saw the same thing with Rick along the way, but we're less forgiving for Madison because we've already seen it before. Rick has made situations that put a lot of his family and friends in danger along the way, and Madison has done the same thing. I don't understand Madison's weird obsession with trying to help out Troy. I understand she was a school guidance counselor before the apocalypse hit, and so she sees this troubled youth that she wants to try to help out any way she can, and she also thinks that he's dangerous so she can keep an eye on him. But it's a really weird situation that she's going to be the one in control going forward here, and I'm not sure that it's best for the group, but hopefully she can continue to evolve as a leader and just really take the reins on the situation and continue to grow and develop as a character, because right now it's not really working for me as much as I thought. Now, this is a really interesting time for fans of The Walking Dead because there's so much going on. You got the season 8 preview special coming out, and everybody loves seeing those stars of the show along with Chris Hardwick. You got Fear the Walking Dead coming back, which, as everyone knows, Fear the Walking Dead can serve as a great bridge heading right back into The Walking Dead. In the comics, a war has just ended, and it looks like conflict's going to start right up again real soon. And who knows, that it doesn't even look like the war is truly over, because not all of the opposition was defeated or dispersed in a really fashion that makes you think they're gone for good. So it's a really exciting time, and with all the games coming out, as I mentioned, I love the video games. The Telltale games are my absolute favorite. I know a lot of people really enjoyed Survival Instinct, even though it was not as great of a game, but it did feature the Dixon characters, which a lot of people really enjoy. Katrina says that Madison is a woman, that her emotions will get in the way of leadership. I don't really think that's a gender-specific thing. We saw Rick do the same thing when it came to deciding situations where what they should do, especially when he made the decision to keep Michonne safe rather than hand her over, to keep the people at the prison safe. That, to me, is a big example of him making a decision based on emotions rather than logic, because at that point he should have considered her somewhat expendable and made the trade. But as we all know, we're really glad he didn't, because Michonne has turned out to be a fantastic character, one hell of a butt kicker and just an amazing, amazing character to enjoy along the way. All right, so let's keep on moving along here. We've got The Walking Dead issue 171 coming out, and the cover of the issue has a character that we've never seen before, a really flamboyant character. She's all dressed with bright pink colors, and we don't really know who this woman is, what her intentions are, but we can assume that she is not part of the group from Ohio, because I don't think they'd end that whole stretch of travel so quickly, especially with what was going on at the rooftop there between Sadiq and Eugene. For me, the comics right now are just so fantastic that there's so much going on, and considering the surprising kill that happened just a few issues ago, right now you do feel like anything can happen in the comics. Main characters can get killed off on a whim. Just big swerves can be taken at any time. And I'm really excited about this introduction of the new character, whether or not she's going to be a friend or foe, who she's with, if she's alone. I'm just so excited about this idea. And this issue comes out in 1 week, issue 171 of The Walking Dead. It's titled The Princess. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. Otherwise, I don't really have a lot else to talk about here. We do have a lot going on over on Undead Walking. The episode synopsises came out for the first 3 episodes for season 3B of Fear the Walking Dead. So we touched on a lot of that on the website. And I really do think that if we do have people passionate enough on the site, we can get information up in a timely and great fashion, and even come here and discuss it with you guys in the live chat, which we really, really look forward to. Or at least I do. This has been a successful format for the Purple People podcast. We've developed a nice following, and I know that fans of The Walking Dead are some of the most passionate fans that there are out there. So being able to have so many people, even if we just get a small fraction of them to come in and talk The Walking Dead with us, it would be fantastic. In the future, I do hope to have some guests coming on. I do have members of my team on Undead Walking who are looking to come on, and maybe even some guests from the show or something like that would be fantastic. I'm always looking forward to opportunities, no matter what may come. We got a question in the chat here. Kyle West wants to know if the TV series will embrace being more over the top in the future, like Mad Max style Walker with spikes. We saw a little bit more. We saw a little bit of that with the Walker with the spikes at the Scavenger's house, but I believe Robert Kirkman in an interview said that he likes that The Walking Dead is more of a superhero story. So we are going to see a lot more of that over-the-top stuff on The Walking Dead than we're going to see on what's more of like a gritty, more family-driven show like Fear the Walking Dead. And I think that the fact that the two shows can have such a different appeal is such a great way to both keep the shows feeling fresh and change the appeal of both, as well as have characters that you can develop in different ways. Because let's be honest, Carol, Daryl, Rick, these characters have all been in so many situations where they should have been dead. They should have. Most normal people that are in survival situations would not have survived those situations. And that's, I think, why when Robert Kirkman talked about them being superhero-like, that he hit the nail on the head, because these characters will survive. And I think we will see more and more over-the-top things in The Walking Dead, especially if it continues to follow the comics. Because like I just talked about with the comics, how the princess is being introduced. I'm not sure what her character or her group's going to be, but as an individual, that character is really interesting just because she's so different. And I think we're going to keep seeing so many different things like that on The Walking Dead as the show develops. While Fear the Walking Dead is going to be much more rooted into reality and family-based gritty drama. So that's what to look forward to there. I touched over virtually everything that I wanted to here for the first episode. Next week, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to both write up a review and a recap of issue 171 of The Walking Dead. And I want to come and do a standalone episode talking about that, because I've already mentioned how excited I am about it. And I know that on Sunday, the following Sunday, is going to be the return of Fear the Walking Dead and the season 8 special. So we'll probably have a little bit more of recap or information about what's going to be going on there. Yeah, when I say reality, I don't mean, like people's everyday reality. I mean like a more realistic based approach to the zombie apocalypse, which is, as you guys know, a fantastic thing, something that exists only in the fantasy world. But still, it's fun to think of the idea of so many different realities existing, especially when in the Walking Dead world, which encompasses so much, because Fear the Walking Dead, and Telltale's The Walking Dead, I believe they all exist in the same universe. Maybe not Telltale. I think Telltale exists in the same as the comics. But still, it's so much fun to see all these different realities and how they can be so different, and all these characters, how they adjust to the zombie apocalypse. And well, fans always run in and they grab a hold of the strongest, most awesome, most physically imposing or physically attractive characters. There are so many characters on this show, and even actors on the show, that don't get the respect and admiration they deserve. And I think that being able to take these shows and give everyone a little bit of a stage is so fantastic. All right, so as a closing here, I know that's only been 15-20 minutes, but I figure for an introduction to the episode, we'll just keep everything short. I do highly recommend you head over and check out Undead Walking, check out my work over there, as well as the work of the writers on the site. There are so many passionate people over there with ideas and opinions that I highly recommend checking it out. And if you have passion for The Walking Dead and want to have your opinion and voice heard, fill out an application to join us on Undead Walking. We're always looking for more passionate folks to join the team, especially those that love The Walking Dead, are decent team players, and just want to get their opinion out there in the society. So on that note, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. Be sure to check out Undead Walking. If you're into the Minnesota Vikings, check out the Viking Age, which is the other site on Fansided that I do a lot of work for. Purple People Podcast is me and Kyle West, same style format. We're live talking about the Minnesota Vikings. But in the future, we hope to do a lot more with Undead Talking. And this was kind of like just a trial run. And I appreciate those of you who were able to find this or navigate your way around the bad link that I sent out earlier because of my stupid encoding error. But once again, I'd like to thank everyone who took the time to tune in. If you really appreciate this, share the channel, hit subscribe. If you didn't care for it, that's okay. There are a ton of other great Walking Dead shows out there that may be a little bit more to your fancy, but I do hope to spruce this up in the future with some guests and have some fun. So thanks again for tuning in, and I really appreciate it. Stay alive in the zombie apocalypse, everyone.